So it's taken me a little bit to record this video. The reason being, I didn't really want to make it as much as I know I needed to, because I wasn't happy. I mean, I'm still not happy. There's nothing that can be done at this point. I needed to make an honest review video, and this is the only time that I've had to make one that was not a rave review. See, I prided myself in already knowing so many amazing vendors, that I had done the right research, that I knew what I wanted to look for in a vendor, what I needed in a photography company, and my requirements. I knew exactly what I needed to get from these vendors. The very long story short is Lynn Photography was the company that I went with, and they checked off all of the right boxes. I wanted a big company that had the resources. I wanted 2 photographers and 2 videographers. Mind you, all of this is done in 2000 and, God, what year is this? 2019. 2019. Of course, 2020 happened. And on March 18th, I'm going ahead of myself. So, I booked this company off the criteria that I had set for myself. Want 2 photographers and 2 videographers. I want to have all of the raw video footage afterwards, because I want to be able to see what my family was up to and get all that back end stuff and watch that video years from now. Basic wedding photography and the standard set of wedding photos. And I wanted it to be fun, right? I mean, the fun part to me was given. So fast forward to March 18th to be exact, when the world shut down, or at least South Florida shut down. And the originally located engagement shoot that was supposed to happen was a local park that I had called the night before to confirm that it was open. But of course, at 9 o'clock at night, when the ordinance came through, it was shut down without warning. And we showed up at sunrise to do an engagement shoot at a location that now was blocked off by police. So we said, damn it. Proceeded to then call the number that we had for the photography company, which had now been forwarded to a voicemail. The voicemail was not being listened to because it was a Saturday morning. The emails were not being picked up because it was a Saturday morning. I did not have the direct line to the main photographer's phone because this was a big company. They did not give out the information of the photographer. Now, while I understand privacy reasons, I feel like on the day of the photo shoot, it may be a good idea to be in contact with your photographer. So for 45 minutes, we parked across the street in a parking lot and waited. 45 minutes later, I got a call that said, hey, I didn't realize the place was closed, so I left. I didn't see you there. And then, in my now rage, said, you better turn your butt around. I still want a photo shoot. Now, we had paid for 2 hours. I wanted 2 outfits, multiple locations. I got 1 outfit, 45 minutes of shoot, and 1 background. While the photos themselves were nice and crisp and technically sound, I feel like I had higher expectations. It took a really long time to get the photos back, and they were not edited. When I say edited, I mean there was nothing taken out of the backgrounds, like the guy in the distance who was walking his dog. There was no retouching on our faces. There was no edits done except for color correction and probably exposure, the basics. For what I had paid for, that did not seem acceptable. I do have to give a disclaimer that they did give me a partial refund on the engagement shoot because it was half a shoot. So fast forward to the big day. With them, I decided to book the 6-hour package. As a wedding photographer, I know all of the madness that goes on in a day. There's a whole lot that I didn't need photographed. I don't need more than 6 hours. That I don't regret. That one was fine. 6 hours was exactly what I myself needed. It's not how I run a business, but 6 hours. 2 photographers and 2 videographers came, not necessarily dressed super professional, but it was outdoors and it was fine. The chaos kind of happened. While I had given a timeline and an approximate shot list as to what I deemed the basics, I assume one photographer is going to take over and help the brides and the bridesmaids. The other photographer would help the groom and the groomsmen. And then they'd come together once we did our first look and do all of the bridal party photos and follow kind of the general timeline. Again, because I've done this a few times, my timeline was on time. The only problem we did have was that it did start to rain after the reception started, but we were under a tent. So it didn't really screw with any of our ideas already. While they were there, not a problem. They were courteous, smiling, wore a mask, and didn't give much else. There was no instructions on how to maybe pose. There was no instructions on how to keep it natural and fun. And that's what I said earlier. That might have been my fault. I didn't look for a company that was going to make you feel like you on your day. I wanted to be instructed to say, all right, you're going to frolic towards me. Do whatever. Like, have fun as you walk towards me. Or, I don't know. I know I do things different. And I know that I want to show the emotion in my photos. And these photos had no emotion. Yes, we were posed together so that our heads were close together. Or go ahead and kiss. Or there was no emotion now. It was very, very, very posed. Again, I'll take credit for that one. I didn't do that research. Okay. Day went by in a blur, as it normally does, and we get the photos back 7 weeks later. We'll see. We got our photos, we got our video, then our photos, and then all of the raw footage. It was not done all at once. Also, their raw footage is all done in just one massive video that is not organized at all. Like, I would have rather had all of their clips individually dumped into like a Google Drive. It didn't make much sense to me to have this disorganized 3-hour video that now I have to cut and move things around to put in chronological order. So I get the video back, and the highlight video is done very well. The highlight video I'm okay with. Again, there's not a whole lot of emotion in the posing and that kind of stuff, but video inherently has more emotion because you're moving, because you're laughing, because there's audio. So I can't say anything bad about the video. The photos, however, I can say a lot about. Because exactly as I expected, based on the engagement photos, they were unedited. There was no background removal. I was given images where people's eyes were closed, and it was just one image of the bridal party. Was expecting a whole lot more for getting my photos 7, almost 8 weeks later. I feel they were not color corrected properly, that there was no attention to detail. It was batch processed and sent to me haphazardly. There were no photos of just of just the groomsmen, which to me feels like just like a have to photo, right? You have to have a photo of all the girls, the same as you have to have a photo of all the boys, or whatever combination it is of the groomsmen and the bridesmaids, right? There was none. Now, to give them credit, post, I did send a very long list of complaints, to which they photoshopped a photo that was of the entire group and cut out the me, and the bridal party, the bridesmaids, and cropped it in to be just of the men. I was delivered a photo where I was standing next to a trash can. I was given a photo that had dirt on my dress. The close-up shot of a ring was set on a table with dust everywhere. I say these things because I know how easy it is to edit those things out. I know how much I care about my business and my clients and their opinion of me. I don't know how else to say that I will give better. Like, I will never deliver a photo that I feel is not 100% unless that's the third image in that series and I thought this other one was better, right? If I had 3 that were so awesome, but they're very similar or they're of the same scene, I'm gonna give you all 3. What the hell am I gonna do with all 3? But I like number 1, and because number 1 is my favorite, I may give it a little bit of extra touch. But you must believe the tree that's sticking out of the top of your head is going to be edited out of every single photo, not just the first one. So, I'm not happy. And if I'm going to give them a review, a standard review is 1 to 5, 5 being phenomenal, it couldn't have gotten any better, and 1 being, oh my god, this is the worst experience I've ever had in my life. It was a solid 3. If you're looking for mediocre photography that is technically, when I say technically, it's very clear, it's very, the composition is there, and it is sharp. They did good. If you're looking for variety, if you're looking for emotion, if you're looking for someone who's detail-oriented and will take care of all of those details before you have to scream and complain, then this is not who you should hire as your photographer. For the price I paid, which I won't disclose, I expected a whole lot more. So I'm not happy. And unfortunately, I'll have to do with what I have. And I may have high standards, and that may be the bigger issue. But I feel everyone needs to be held accountable and given an honest review, just as I would want an honest review if I did not deliver. So I hope this helps, and I hope you can have a better idea of what to look for when you're hiring your photo and video for your wedding. I'll see you soon.